We've been working with Cavanaugh for about 2 weeks, and I think the whole country has been doing the same. There's a final hearing in this case on Thursday uh, with one of the girls that have said some things about him. She'll also be there. But um, most of the things that have come up with a couple girls are over 30 years ago. And on TV last night, he said that he never had sex with any of these people or anything like that. And he was sitting there with his wife. Frankly, since we've been working on this for the last 2 weeks, I've found out a lot of things about him, and I really think he's probably the best man that we have for this Supreme Court job. I know it's an about face, but I've really been through his past, his history, and I don't think we have anybody else right now in mind that has his credentials. I think he's been a federal judge for about 10 years, and the main thing that I study and go through are the schools that these people go to. I think he went to undergraduate Yale University, and then law school he went to Yale Law School. And if you think Yale Law School is easy to get into, you can forget it. Now they only have in the whole school 600 people. That's 3 years of classes, so they have about 200 people each year in that particular class, the first, second, third year class. And people from all over the world are trying to get into Yale Law School. Well, maybe Yale University for 4 years, then they go to law school after that for 3 years. And I mean, they are getting prepped, they are getting trained, and they are trying to get in not only Yale University, but also Yale Law School. And a lot of people with money from big families have given up on trying to get in the Ivy League schools. They're tough, and they check you out. And if you think you want to be checked out by the FBI, you send in your application, all your information to Yale or Harvard Law School, and you see what happens. They're going to check you out. They're going to check you out close. Naturally, they're going to be looking for ways to get rid of you, because if you don't have the real high grades in your college that you're coming from, and then you have to have real high scores on these entrance exams. I'm talking about at the top of the list. That's why I'm saying this is a good man. I think he'll do a good job, and I think we have to take him. We can't find a guy backup like him with his credentials in college. Let's go through all the Senate, the people sitting there, the 6 people want to examine him and this girl, and let's look at their background and their school and the school applications and what schools they went to. Now, maybe they all went to Yale Law School, Yale University. I doubt it. But we could check it out, because I know when I was coming out of high school, most people come out of high school, they all think maybe they could get a scholarship to go to the Ivy League schools, because the Ivy League schools, if you can get through an Ivy League school with your degree, they figure you're flying in an airplane, everybody else is walking. But I know in Pittsburgh, when I was playing football in high school, and somehow I got invited downtown to the Harvard Club, which is a club in Pittsburgh, and some of the Harvard people are in it, and then they also check out all the local students around town that maybe would want to go to Harvard, and they check out a few football players that maybe could get into Harvard. But I'll tell you, if you think that you can get in to these Ivy League schools, just walk up, shake a hand, and say, hey, I scored 3 touchdowns yesterday, you can forget it. because that doesn't mean a thing to these people. They're looking strictly at the brains. They're looking at your background. They're looking at your schools. They're looking at what high school you went to, and they're looking at your results on your exams to get into college. So this Kavanaugh impresses me, and I thought about it a lot lately over the last few days because naturally I was like the rest of the nation, wanting to start on these girls that he dated 30 something years ago, but he said he never had sex with them. So um, so what? If something comes out now about him having some kind of sex or affairs or whatever, I think they could always try to impeach him. Even though he's the Supreme Court justice, they could try to get him off of the court and put somebody else up there. But from what I can see right now, I think he's qualified, and I don't know scholastically if we could find a better candidate than Mr. Cavanaugh. Thank you.